What's up, everybody? This is the New York Giants podcast, The Blue Zone, featuring your boy Atticus. And we
And your
got
boy
more.
Umar Davis.
That's right. We got a couple of things we want to cover with y'all today. We want to be real brief when it comes to, maybe not so brief. Who knows? It's the first dub of the season. The New York Giants went to Cleveland and they just clapped cheeks all day. It was intense. The Browns didn't know what hit them, and I was really impressed with. I'm gonna start off here, Moo. I was really impressed with the way that Shane Bowen just really changed up his defensive strategy. And when they interviewed Deshaun Watson after the game, they asked him, what went wrong for you guys, and he said that the way that the Giants played him defensively was not what they practiced, so they weren't really prepared for that. And I thought his game plan was very effective. Obviously, the Giants recorded 8 sacks on the day. They pressured Deshaun Watson. He don't look like his former self anyway, but the defensive game plan that the New York Giants had going into that game, it worked. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they definitely shook him up. I got something here. Your boy Brian Burns. He finally showed us why we picked him up. He had 4 hurries, one quarterback hit, 1 sack. Tibbs had a hurry. He had a quarterback hit. Dexter Lawrence, man, that I feel like the progression of him throughout the years, it is amazing. We don't usually draft a first rounder and they're this effective this long. And he had 3 hurries, 2 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, and Azeez Ojulari. I always knew this man was nice. He's never healthy, but I always knew when this man is on the field, good things happen. And he stepped up and recorded 2 sacks himself. I was at a certain point where I couldn't believe what I was watching when I was watching the first half of that game. We'll get to the second half later. But the first half of that game, I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was the game that you wait for as a Giants fan. And sometimes we wait a lot longer than week 3 to get it. So it was a good feeling.
Absolutely. And it opened up opportunities for other players too. Chapman got in there for a sack. I thought Azeez was all over the field. I mean, what a great guy to fill in whenever Burns has to take a break or Thibodeau needs to get a sip of Gatorade, to have a guy like Ojulari to come on there and clean up. And I think he's really found himself a good role, because playing as an every down rusher just didn't work for him. He just seemed to get injured all the time, and it was just real
Mm-hmm.
frustrating, because we all saw how capable and athletic he is as a pass rusher, and he just could not seem to stay on the field. And then I think one of the stats that's missing, and you pointed out a lot of good stats that hits everyday stat lines, but the pressures. This man was under duress the entire game. Although you did bring up also, the second half was a different story. I thought they got a little lax. They switched up the plan. They went into this prevent, just try to wind the clock down. I thought they should have maintained the same level of intensity and pressure in the second half that got them that huge lead that they earned in the first half.
So since the time called, the Giants has never been a team that knew how to play with the lead. We are not that team. And we've proven last week that we are still not that team. We did pull out the dub. It shouldn't have been nearly as close of a game as it was. We were all scared in the first 11 seconds. Cleveland scored with us starting with the ball.
Oh my God.
And I'm sure we all sat there. We had to look and discuss on our face, but I didn't expect that game. I thought, I think if the Giants kept their foot on the pedal, and even with, rotating, throwing Hyatt in there, throwing people who sitting on the bench in there, but still trying to win this game, I think that game was a real big blowout if they stayed with the
No
same game
doubt.
plan. But when the Giants get the lead, when they up by 14, no matter the quarter, that's good enough for them. and they almost really, they almost really, if they would have lost that game, Monk, oh
I mean,
man,
on that note, even down to, and I get it. I understand what the analytics say. Devin Singletary, stop at the 1 yard line. Don't just run the clock out. I would have rather seen him run into the end zone and get a touchdown on that last play. 28-15. It's out of reach at that point anyway. That changes the play calling for the Cleveland Browns anyway, whether they're up 28-15 or they try to run it. Just score the touchdown. Why not?
I talked to Toad. Toad reached out to me when that happened. He said, "Why, bro? Why did he do that?" And to be honest with you, last thing we need is Singletary to run in that end zone, and then we got the defense out there, and something like what happened to Jordan Love happens to us unnecessarily. He stopped. We
But
could
you
make
don't need Jordan out there anymore. You can put Drew Lock bum ass out there at that point.
no
Daniel
this.
Jones has
The
done his job.
the defense would have been out there at that point.
Sure.
So if something happened to one of our key guys on a game that we could have just
Mm-hmm.
nailed it out, even if it happens to a backup that is a solid backup, you don't want to risk that injury for more points. I completely get it. It's not a sexy thing to do. I don't like to see it, but I truly understand, especially after what happened to Jordan Love. The game was over. We all knew Jordan Love wasn't going to get that Hail Mary in week one. But they went for it, and he ended up getting injured pretty bad, and hopefully he could come back this weekend. But we have no injuries. There was no chances of somebody getting injured. It was 4 kneel downs or 3 kneel downs, and we'll take that.
It was a business decision.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that choice.
I get it. I get it. But as Giants fans, I'm tired of being a team to watch other teams.
Run it
Just
up.
like the other day with Jaden Daniels in Washington. It was a third and whatever. They could have just ran the clock, right? But he throws up, I don't even know how long the pass was, a 40-yard pass.
40-yard pass to Scary Terry.
To Scary Terry on the right hand side of the end zone and like put an exclamation point on the victory. I want to see a goddamn exclamation point.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand what analytics say. I understand the risk of injury, but damn it, these players are making millions of dollars a year. Produce some fucking points for me, dog. That's what I want to see. I hear you though. I understand, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. One thing I want to point out, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but I certainly have. Maybe I have higher expectations for Tay Banks being our number one CB, but I just think that he gives too much of a cushion, or he's pressed too hard on a line every time. Whenever he's giving cushion, he's 9-10 yards back. Whenever he's up on the line, he's right up on dude. And each time I see him doing that, even without help, he finds himself out of position and gives up a play that should not be given up. I'm not saying I've bailed on Tay Banks because I still think he's really good and he's still developing. However, I think with some better coaching and having him, instead of being 9 to 10 yards off the ball, right? Have him between 6 and 7 yards, 6 to 8 yards. I think that 2 yard difference, potentially 2 yard difference, will make a tremendous difference. He does have the capability of catching up, right? Not even catching up running from behind, but he does have the speed to adapt to whatever the route is that the receivers are running. But even when he's on the line, he just gets blown by too quickly, resulting in these 25, 30-yard plays down the field right along the edge of the sideline, and he's in no position to defend those passes. What do you think about Tay Banks and how he's developing?
So what I've noticed with Tay Banks is when it comes to the more premier wide receivers, the people who like Amari Cooper, he don't got to get ready. That man always ready. We spoke about it last week. He was having a rough season so far. I knew he was gonna. We're that team that this happens to, but I feel like Tay Banks want that acknowledgement of I want to follow your best guy, and I'm gonna shut your best guy down, and he's done that with the McLaurins, and not that Scary Terry's not a top tier receiver. He's done that with, Christian Watson and receivers like that. But when we got the DK, the AJs,
The
the
CD Lambs.
the CD Lambs, the Amari, when we got those guys who are just, they are so good at getting open. They not loud talkers. They gonna go out there, they gonna run their route, and they gonna leave you looking silly. Those are the guys that has been getting him every week, and those are the guys we really need him to get. We need him to frustrate your Justin Jeffersons and your Amari Coopers.
Right.
We could deal with, I could deal with Watson on the Packers. We could deal with that. We need you to stop. We got CD Lamb in our division, and CD Lamb is mad. We got AJ Brown in our division. AJ Brown said when he play us this year, it's personal.
And Devontae Smith. Let's not undersell him.
I don't know if Devontae Smith gonna be back anytime soon. I don't
Right.
know if you seen that hit.
I did see that. That was a little scary. He's a good dude too.
He is a good dude. He should have been a Giant, but we're gonna leave that alone. And then you're Terry McLaurin, so we need him to definitely step up with the best route runners of the game, and all the best wide receivers that's coming into the league. Marvin Harrison is now a part of that. Malik Neighbors, you should have all the practice in the world with that guy across from you, but
Right.
we need him to step up against those guys.
Right. Yeah, so the defense we talked about. Offensively, I think we can both agree that the defense played much better. We would have liked to have seen them keep the pedal to the metal, so to speak, in half. But overall, I think you and I were both pretty happy with what we saw. But, then we have the offense. I mean, you said it, like, it started off real scary, right? Like 11 seconds in, we down 7 points. We're not at home. We're in their stadium. They got the number one defense in the league coming out of last year anyway. Deshaun Watson is probably due to start having a good game. And like you alluded to earlier, usually when a player who has underperformed all season plays the Giants, all of a sudden that magic pixie dust comes into play, and now they rocking and rolling, and they putting up all Madden type of highlights. And we on Sports Center every day looking like the butt end of a joke. Usually that happens. This time it did not. And then, not for nothing, that first play of the game or that first drive of the game, if it weren't for illegal hands to the face on a quarterback, that might have been a pick six. That might have been another touchdown that was scored right away. But they regrouped and recovered really nicely, turned that into an 80-yard plus drive, put points on the board, and then they was rolling. And it felt really good to see them do that for a change.
I felt like, the first 2 weeks I enjoyed watching Malik Neighbors play. The first week I enjoyed watching him play. I enjoyed watching him play a lot. The second week, I was like, oh man, this kid is special. The third week, I got goosebumps. I said, no, this is not what people fail to realize about Malik Neighbors is he's not just open like that. People aren't like, oh, this guy's a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really have to guard him like that. His route running gets him as open as he's been. He looks like people are leaving him uncovered, and they're not. His route running, his hands are spectacular. He has that it factor. But I feel like people really sleep on his route running and the fact that he knows how to find that soft spot in the zone. He knows how to put the tippy toes down, and he gets open. He looks like I want to say like a Devontae Adams, one of those guys that how you leave the best guy open. And then the icing on the cake when he caught the ball over that guy's head. I didn't see the play. I was too mind blown because I'm like, that might be a pick. When he brought that pass in, I said, oh, he's here.
Yeah.
He's here. That is our guy.
Yeah. And he also displayed the mental acuity that he needs when he's on the field and a play breaks down, because when they called that play where Theo Johnson was supposed to fan out to the left hand side of the field, DJ rolled right. He's in his end zone. He gets ready to throw a pass to Theo. His arm gets hit. The ball flies up in the air and comes in the vicinity of Malik Neighbors and two defenders. Neighbors knew he could not catch it. He turned into a defender and knocked the ball down. Huge play. That shows a high level of football and intelligence that usually you don't see with a rookie, right? But he was able to discern where he was most needed on the field at that moment, and he turned what could have otherwise been a pick into an incomplete pass. Great to see that. Talking about the offense, just look at some of these numbers, right? So far, DJ's thrown 600 passing yards, 67 rushing. He's at 60%, 2 TDs, 4 INTs. His QBR over the last 2 games is over 100. That's pretty damn good, right? We do see that Dable is calling an offense that works with the skill sets of our players. He is trying to take shots downfield, and DJ has been just missing. Once they get that part of it right, it's going to look a lot better.
So you said he had 4 TDs, 2 INTs?
Yeah, which is better than Dak.
Oh, all right, yeah, and Hurts.
And Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not better than Dak. It's better than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
My apologies for that. But they're spreading the ball out nicely. He hit 8 different receivers. They really got to fix that deep ball accuracy. But he's on pace currently. If he continues at the rate he is, and we have no reason to believe that they won't. The only reason I say that is because they looked horrible the first game. In each game, they have been getting better. Right? So he's on pace for 3,500 passing yards, 21 TDs, and 10 INTs. Let's hope that the INTs are smaller than that, but he's on pace to have a good year. Neighbors, check this out. Neighbors is number 1 in targets, number 1 in 20-yard plus plays. He's tied for number 1 in touchdowns received. He's number 2 in receptions. He's 5th in total yards for wide receivers, and he's on pace for 1,500 receiving yards and 17 TDs. You know the last time we had a wide receiver to do that, what his name was?
I'll say, if I had to throw out a guess, I would say Odell Beckham Jr.
OBJ. And he will, if he continues at this pace, he will not only surpass Odell Beckham Jr., but he will overpass him by well over 100 yards. Pretty good numbers.
I am excited to have him on the team. I am excited to see what happens tonight. I like you said, well, like we said earlier, I would like us to keep our foot on the gas at the end of games, close games strong, exclamation point. And the situation with Singletary, I'm not mad he did that. The game was over at that point. But
I'm madder at the fumble than that.
Yeah. And then that was fumble number 2.
Fumble number 2 for the season. And that's not something that he's known for.
I don't want to see it again. I can't let it slide again. But the offense looked good. The last 2 games, Daniel Jones has not thrown an interception. We got bailed out. Well, we didn't get bailed out. The dude did have illegal hands to the face. But that would have been an ugly start if that didn't happen.
It was ugly enough, right?
Yeah. But I'm excited to see what we bring in tonight. I hate to say that I have my hopes up, but I do have my hopes up that I know Dallas is mad. They angry. I don't know if you got to catch their game.
I did.
They are mad. CD Lamb threw a
It was a beautiful thing.
I really enjoyed seeing it.
I did too.
But I also know that the Cowboys like taking their day out on us when they have a bad game. And I hope we don't take it this time. I hope we stand up for ourselves. When you look at the last 5 times the Giants played the Cowboys, you ready for it? We lost 6-21, 16-23, 20-28, 0-40, 17-49. All right, those numbers are disgusting. The last, I believe, 20 times we played the Cowboys, we beat them 4 times. Okay, what is going to be our keys to breaking this dry spell?
Well, one of the things that we know is going to happen is they're going to focus on Malik Neighbors offensively. Let me start there. Offensively, they're going to focus on Malik Neighbors, which is fine considering the fact that Malik Neighbors has played so well that he has completely overshadowed how consistent and reliable Darius Slayton has been, Wan'Dale Robinson has been. Jalen Hyatt hasn't really showed up yet, but Darius Slayton's dealing with a thumb issue, so maybe he'll become more involved tonight in the play selection. I don't know, but these other receivers have been extremely reliable, right? They've been doing their job. The fact that Malik Neighbors is out there just doing unbelievable stuff as a rookie, sometimes you miss some of these things that they've been doing to support him in his efforts in the passing game. Remember what I said? DJ passed to 8 different receivers last week. 8 different receivers. And 8 different receivers, all their names was not Malik Neighbors. So I think we're going to see a generous spreading of the football today through the passing game. But we can't overstate the fact that the Giants, the Cowboys, have the worst rush defense in the league. The worst, by far, right? And the worst rushing attack in the league. And it's going to be probably raining tonight, they're saying, at Giant Stadium. So I don't know, but usually that favors a running attack. And if Single can go high and tight, right, and get Tyrone Tracy involved, some quick screens out the backfield, oh my God, we got a screen game, Moo. A screen game.
Yeah.
If we can get some of that stuff going, it's going to open up some other plays across the middle and down the field. And I think offensively, the Giants are going to be okay. My question is not so much with the offense, because I think they are really bought in and they're starting to really develop some chemistry with each individual skill sets. Dak has found a way to just slice and dice the New York Giants for a long time, and I'm sick of this shit, to be honest with you. I'm 150% sick of it. It is just deflating to have this feeling that I can't even be a homer and be, oh yeah, we got this game. I can't even do that, right? I got to be like, yeah, they're going to win, but be competitive. I'm sick of that shit. So defensively, if Shane Bowen can come up with a plan, and I hope he takes advantage of this offensive line that Dallas has this year that is not as good as it was in years past. They got 2 rookies on that offensive line. I am very hopeful that the New York Giants and Shane Bowen can get some pressure on Dak, keep him contained in the pocket, just throw him off his game. Not necessarily blitz a whole lot, but get pressure on him. And I don't know if zone or man is going to be the right thing, because they're going to be playing McLeod and Cordell Flott this week. And McLeod is much better in zone than he is in man. But I don't know what they're going to do in that regard, but I'm really hopeful that the defensive effort is where we need to be to win this game, because offensively, I'm really not too concerned.
I feel like this is going to be another one of those games where we need Tay Banks he about to go up against CD, and Tay Banks will follow. The guy got heart, he got grit, but none of that means nothing if you're getting toasted all game. So hopefully this is the game that he really he goes up against a prime receiver and he shows up, and I've seen him do it before. Last season I feel like he had a really good season, but I did get, Danny Dimes reached out to your boy, okay?
Word.
And he said, and I quote, "We gonna fuck these bitches up." That was his words. And I said, should I be worried? He said, don't worry at all. So that's what I got from DJ. So I'm feeling more confident in the game, knowing that the team is spiced up, they ready. I really want to see Jalen Hyatt get involved. I feel like one of our keys is going to be getting Theo Johnson and or Daniel Bellinger involved. It's so weird to say this. I am somewhat confident in our offensive line to do what they have to do. It feels so weird to say that because past trauma, But I'm confident in the O line. I know that the Cowboys have did they thing against us and really kind of bullied us over the years. I think we have a new team with new fighters. Uh, I don't think Malik Neighbors, Devin Singletary, to be honest with you, even DJ. I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns. I don't think we got guys who are ready to go out there and sit in these interviews after the game and try to save face, try to look like we're gonna move on to next week. These guys want to win now. These guys are getting upset about losing, and we haven't seen it. Every time after a New York Giants game, Saquon, DJ, Darius Slayton, everyone's real like, we got to execute better. We got to this, we got to that, and we're gonna focus on whoever we're playing next week. Our players are frustrated, and it's starting to show. And that's what we need. We need to have a certain kind of hunger. We can't go into
We need
games.
dogs, like you
Yeah,
said before.
yeah. We can't go into these games thinking, oh, all right, we got Dallas. Maybe tonight will be our night. Nah, we need to make tonight our night. And like
Right.
DJ said, it's gonna happen tonight.
What now? What did he say exactly again? He said we're gonna beat these bitches up. What was it?
Yeah, he said. What did he say? Let me know. He said we gonna beat these bitches. That's what he said. And then I said, do we got anything to worry about? He said, we don't have anything to worry about. All
Okay.
right, so here's what I got. I got DJ throwing for 3 touchdowns, running for 1. Okay? Singletary getting one of those too. My final score, it's New York Giants 42, Cowboys 35. I'm book it. Put that in the book.
Oh,
That's where I'm at with it.
I love that optimism.
That's where
But
I'm
I
at.
smoke crack, so I ain't going that high.
I'll smoke crack.
Oh man, I would love to see that.
Book
Honestly,
it.
I think that Devin Singletary is going to get 2 touchdowns today.
Okay.
I think DJ will throw for 1. I think he's going to also throw for a pick. I do. I think he's going to throw a pick. But I don't think it's going to be very high scoring. I think it's going to be mid-20s. I think it's going to be mid-20s.
You didn't see the text.
You right though. I don't have that same energy you got because you saw it yourself.
I saw the text.
So I want to go Giants so bad, but I just got a feeling that we going to come up just short. It's going to be one of those heartbreaking losses, but one of those losses where you don't feel too bad because they played hard, right?
Here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to the nearest convenience store and get a lottery ticket. And I feel like you got a better chance at hitting that number than the Giants losing tonight. The Giants is going to win tonight's game. They're going to win tonight.
I'll take it. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to say. Without the blue lenses, right?
Without the blue lenses.
Without the blue lenses, I'm going 27-23. No, 27-24 Dallas, right?
Okay.
With my blue lenses on. Oh, and this is what makes me mad about Devin Singletary not running in last week because I picked 27-17. That's what I said the score was going to be. If he would have scored, it would have been 28-15, right? So, with my blue lenses on, I'm thinking the Giants are going to eclipse the 30-point mark. It's going to be 30 to 23 to 24 New York Giants. That's what my blue lenses on.
So with my blue lenses on, I got 42-35. But if I take those lenses off, I got 42-35. All right.
Damn, I like it.
That might be giving Dallas a little bit too much. But the Dallas guy, they got no run game.
They don't want none of this smoke, huh?
They got no
run game. How you giving them 35 then without a run game?
It might
all we got to do is play zone.
If we go back to earlier where we're about the 16-minute mark of the video, Cade Banks has been doing questionable things against great receivers, and CD is great. I feel like we're going to see that a lot tonight. I don't want to see that a lot, but we're going to see that a lot tonight.
So you
But
don't think Brandon Cooks is something we need to be concerned with?
oh, Brandon Cooks is always something to be worried about. You can't sleep on Dallas offense, but I got 42-35, and I'll tell you, even this is my bold statement of the day. Most of their 35 is probably going to come in garbage time. The game going to be over. We're going to have Tommy DeVito on the field. You know, yeah, we're going to have DeVito on the field. And
What about Drew Lock?
you know, is Drew Lock? Last time I checked, he was injured. I know they said
No,
he was good, but
he on the sidelines. He
I
ready.
think they, I think they should be real careful about putting him out because that play he did during the
He is
preseason
terrible.
that
Ugh.
did not show good football IQ from Drew Lock. That
We
how
should
he
have had
got
Andy Dalton for real.
he also looked really good.
Yeah, or Sam Darnold, right? How
I
we
do
end
have
up
a
with
feeling,
fucking Drew Lock?
and they targeted him. That's what they wanted. But I do have a good feeling that we gonna break this spell tonight. They did us bad so many times.
Well, let
I
me
don't
ask you this: if the Giants come through with a dub, not
know.
just a dub, but convincing, right? Because you said Giants gonna get at them in a hurry, and then these points are gonna be what Dak and the Cowboys are generating in garbage time, right?
Mhm.
The Giants get out there and they clapping cheeks all night. And tomorrow, Friday morning, what does that tell you about the Giants? And what does it tell you about the Cowboys?
I feel like what it tells you about the Giants is um, Daniel Jones is who Giants fans, or at least like the ones who really watch the sport, thought he was. Um, and the Cowboys is, I feel like the Cowboys is a joke. They're a joke. I you ask yourself the question: would you rather be a team that wins, that could sneak in the playoffs with 9 wins and go far, or is constantly 12-5 and being in and out? I don't know. Like, just as abusing as it is to be a Giants fan, it has to be equally abusing to be a Dallas fan.
If
Your
not
team,
worse.
if not worse. Your team is 12-5 for 3 years straight, 13-4, and y'all get in the playoffs against
And
whoever,
can't get out of the divisional round.
unless the referees make an absolute terrible call. Because Jerry looked at them and said, "Come in," and then he hit, and next thing you know, Dallas is in the next round. I feel like the Cowboys are a very overrated team. People look at stats. They look at CD Lamb numbers. They look at Dak numbers, and those numbers look a lot like Josh Allen just did it recently. When your team is up 28 points, put your starter on the bench. Josh Allen was out there while the Bills was the game was over. Josh Allen out there throwing 60-yard passes. You patting those stats, but you doing that against a defeated team with the fifth string secondary in there and people we don't even know who these people are anymore because the game's over. They're not trying to, injure their superstars. The Cowboys are known for doing that. They are known for being up, and I know because some of those games are against the Giants. They are known for being up 28 points and throwing a bomb to CD Lamb, knowing damn well that this man could get hurt. Something could happen. You beating a team this bad and you trying to pour it on. Bad things happen, but a lot of their numbers are inflated. Um, I don't see Dallas as I don't see them what other people see them as, and it's not as a hater. I watch their games because I'm a hater, but I also see that they really are stat stuffers. When the game is over, they are doing everything they can to make sure Dak Prescott passed that 4,000-mile mark. That CD Lamb is going to get that 40-yard bomb and that touchdown. Dak is one of the best fantasy quarterbacks you could get. They don't sit him down. They won't sit him down.
Yeah. I think that a Giants victory tonight does more to help the Giants' reputation than it does to injure the Cowboys' reputation. Because we already think that way in large measure about the Cowboys, right? They ain't shit. They ain't never gonna be shit. They ain't been shit for decades. They ain't going to be shit for 20 more years, right? But the Giants have shown us in not too distant memory that they can be a 9-7 team and take it all away. They've done that, right? And I think that it will say a lot about DJ, but I think it'll also say a lot about Brian Dable, because the way he started this year and I can't really say the way he finished last year because he dealt with a lot of injuries. And in fact, he did a really good job coaching a team that was that went through 3 quarterbacks at different times, multiple different formations on the offensive line. They were signing players off the street and still found a way to win. I think they won 6 games last year. I don't know how they did that, given how futile the outlook of the season was looking for them based on injuries. But I think that, if the Giants win, it's going to do more to highlight them as a team on the rise than it will to say, the Dallas Cowboys are on the demise. Because a lot of people, and that may not be in the locker rooms or in the fan bases of the New York Giants and maybe the Philadelphia Eagles, but there's a lot of people across the league who still think that the Dallas Cowboys are a potent team to be feared. And that's because they put up gaudy numbers, like you said, during the regular season. They'll throw for 370 yards. Last week, he threw for 380 yards in a defeat against the Baltimore Ravens, which is exactly what you said might happen this week, right? So they put up these gaudy stats and all of that, but they still sit there with cake batter on their face in an L. That's what happens to the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm looking forward to the game. We'll see what happens.
Before we wrap this up, I gotta ask: have you seen the rift between Trayvon Diggs and Malik Neighbors?
I have not.
You haven't seen anything about it?
Nothing about it.
Okay, so I will fill you in. Malik Neighbors, before the season started, they asked him, "What cornerback are you most excited about playing?" And he said Trayvon Diggs, which you would think he would view as a compliment. Trayvon Diggs, I want to play him. And Trayvon Diggs, of course, in typical Dallas Cowboy fashion, goes on Twitter. He took the bait. He goes on Twitter. The Giants been getting his belt for a long time. Malik Neighbors
he took it there?
He took it there. Malik Neighbors then post a casket, okay? And then Trayvon
I see where the prediction came from now.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs then posted a ninja. Okay. So next thing you know, there's videos. If you look at Malik Neighbors' page or Diggs' Twitter, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but there's subliminal videos, and they asked Malik Neighbors in a recent interview. They said, how do you feel about, Trayvon Diggs' comment, and how is it going to affect you leading up to the game? And Malik Neighbors ended the interview with, I don't want to talk about that no more. It's game time. So I'm excited to see what comes from that tonight. But that started before the season even started. This happened. And instead really just taking it as a compliment, like, cool. Cowboys are really just...
They cocky. They've been talking shit all week already. And, the thing about Trayvon Diggs is, do I think he's a good player? He's good, but he's also very capable of getting smoked. I can't tell you how many toast memes I've seen of him over the years because he takes these chances, he exposes himself, and not for nothing, Malik Neighbors is exactly who we wanted Golladay to be.
Oh, yeah.
You throw a 50-50 ball of Neighbors, he getting that ball. You not getting that ball. He has shown us that. And he's also capable of contorting his body in a way where even if it's a ball that is maybe not catchable for 9 out of 10 receivers, he catching that shit. Why would you wanna poke the bear of a receiver like Neighbors, who is capable of doing everything that needs to be done to put you on the wrong side of a poster, and it can happen. That's probably what's going to happen tonight.
Maybe he didn't know it. Maybe because this was before the first game. This was, and Malik Neighbors' first preseason game. I don't think he got a target. He didn't get a catch. Like it was. Maybe he didn't think he was going to be as advertised. But I'm very excited to see that part of it tonight. Um,
That's where the saying "you gonna learn today" come from.
yeah, yeah, and you know what? I compare your nephew Liam. I tell people because he plays defense. I compare him to Trayvon Diggs. Liam is going to stop you from catching that ball, or you going to score a touchdown. Those are the two options. He going to pick you off. He going to swat it on the floor, or you scoring. Because when that ball is in the air, all Liam cares about is the ball. But if he miss his read, toast. So I tell people now, you
Just
ever
get
see
the butter
Trayvon?
out. Get the butter and the jelly out.
Oh man, that's funny.
Well, I'm excited. Hey, listen, everybody who's tuning in, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time we drop a video, you get a notification. We on here every week, sometimes a couple of times a week, filling you in with all the New York Giants news that you need to know going into the game, preparing for the week. Every now and then we pop in here and we try to do the recaps, but we try to fill you in whenever there's new information that you need to know about your beloved New York Football Giants. What you got to close us out today, Mo?
I got I got 42-35. That's what I got. 42-35. New York Giants up.
Loving what I'm hearing. Yo, enjoy the game. We gonna circle back after